Hey everybody, Joe here. I'm back again, and this time around I want to take a look at 5 Atari 2600 games that you might not have played back in the day. The Atari 2600 has always been a favorite gaming console of mine. I have a ton of nostalgia for it. Heck, the actual 2600 that I have right now is the very one my dad bought in the early 80s for himself. Now, my sister and I, we probably got way more enjoyment out of it than he ever did, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I could easily go on and on about my nostalgia, but this time around, we are here to talk about 5 games which I guess you can call them hidden gems. It's a bit of a cliche, but that's what I'm getting at. So, without further ado, let's just get to the list. Number 5 is No Escape. Whenever I would see a cartridge that isn't in an Atari or even an Activision cartridge shell, I would always do a bit of a double take back in the day, and here's one that is definitely worth the double take. In a video I did some time ago, I said that this game wasn't sure if it wanted to copy Space Invaders or Breakout, so it tried to combine the two, but the gameplay is really a lot deeper than that. It's a really creative game, and it looks pretty darn good doing what it does while it's at it. The game even has a bit of a story inspired by Greek mythology, drawing inspiration from the tale of Jason and the Argonauts, which is really nice to see when so many games on the system are about invading aliens or shooting monsters in space. Number 4 is Pitfall 2. The original Pitfall is a pretty well-known and well-loved game, but I had no idea it had a sequel until I found the retro gaming communities on the internet. This is a game that really does a lot with the hardware of the platform it's on. The cartridge itself contains a special chip that gave a boost to what was capable on the Atari 2600. That's why the game looks and sounds so much better than so many other titles on the system. For its time, the game was a monster with a play area consisting of over 200 screens of platforming and treasure hunting action. There's quite a lot to do in Pitfall 2, and thankfully you've got unlimited lives in order to do it all. That said, there's still plenty of challenge in these lost caverns. Number 3 is Stargate. I have no idea if this game is remotely common or what, but I've never heard a single person talk about it other than me. For the longest time, I've considered this my all-time favorite game on the Atari 2600. Basically, the game is everything you might like about the original Defender and then some. And if you think that the original Defender's Atari 2600 port left a lot to be desired, then you will be really happy playing this one, as this is much more playable and much better looking. Interestingly enough, both the silver label cartridge bearing the name Stargate and the red label one with the name Defender 2 have copyright dates of 1987, which either way makes this a really late release for the system, making it a really good example of how sometimes things do get better with age. Number 2 is Jawbreaker. Many games on the Atari 2600 draw inspiration from more popular games. This one, as you can imagine, takes more than a couple cues from Pac-Man. But instead of a quick crash grab, they put their own spin on things and made a really fun, fast-paced and challenging game that's really addictive to play. Unlike Pac-Man or most clones, you have to keep moving as the Jawbreakers are hard to predict what road they're going to come down next. You only get to catch your breath when you clear a level. It might not be anywhere as refined as Pac-Man or even some of its imitators, but when it comes to games for the Atari 2600, it's never really about the bells and whistles, but the meat and the potatoes. In other words, I'm talking about gameplay. Number 1 is h.e.r.o. Not unlike Pitfall 2, this is a title that I had no idea about until I started following the retro gaming community here on YouTube, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's not too many games which give you this much to do at one time as this. You can fly, move around, shoot lasers, and drop dynamite, all with the standard Atari joystick, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. And if diving down into caves, rescuing trapped miners doesn't sound exciting enough to you, you've got big snakes, bats, spiders, and lava to deal with as well. The game takes quite a bit of memorization in order to master, but I feel that it's well worth the replay. I can't say that this is my favorite Atari 2600 game of all time, but it is pretty darn close to the top of the list nowadays. What were your favorite Atari 2600 games? I know there's a lot of great ones out there, and if you felt that I've left something off this list, let me know. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you've enjoyed this top 5. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.